I'm not pulling the door, but could you give me a second?
All right, I'll fly to you. I have the big phone here and step it up.
Hey, bro, I'm just trying.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
I'm not.
Drop the gun!
In today's video, we're going to be jumping into a Volusia County incident that I think you'll find quite enlightening. Volusia County, Florida. Body cam footage captured the moment that a convicted felon grabbed a concealed firearm during a traffic stop.
I guess you walking down this way.
All right, sir, can you do me a favor and step out of the car?
What?
Smells like weed in here, man.
No, I had smoked some earlier.
You smoked some earlier?
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, not a kind of smoke earlier, but give me a favor and step out.
Okay, I ain't got nothing in the car, bro.
Okay, we'll just step out and then we'll go from there, okay?
Huh?
We'll step out and we'll go from there.
All right, I got a bag of weed, bro.
You got a bag of weed on you?
Yeah.
Okay, where's that? In your pocket? All right. You said, being honest, I'll work with you. Okay, go on, step out.
That's something I always did. If I was dealing with a suspect, dealing with an individual, and they came clean and they were honest and they answered my questions, the odds of me giving them a break, if I was able to legally, increased dramatically. And I would often tell people that over and over again. Like before we even started the interview, I would say, before you start answering my questions, do not lie to me. Because if I find out you're lying, then it's only going to be worse. So if I ask you something like who you are, if you have any warrants, is this your car, if you have any weapons or any drugs on you, and you tell me no, and then I come to find out that you actually did or do, or you give me a false name or whatever, then it's going to be problematic. So tell me what's going on when I ask you, be honest with me, and then I'll be more likely to give you a break. Now, I know some people may think that, may believe that to be the officer being manipulative or whatever, but I was sincere, and I think I've relayed that quite well. But time and time again, it would be the same thing. People would end up lying. Always. Almost always, I should say. But the ones that were real with me, I typically cut them a break.
About. No, hey, bro.
Give me a second.
For what?
Give me a second, bro.
Step out. Stop
Please,
pulling the door. Stop.
Could you give me a second, though?
Stop pulling the door.
Now, who asked for a second? A cop asked you to get out of your car, and he pulls the door open, and then you hold the door and you say, just give me a second. And why would a reasonable officer not be concerned over that? Clearly, you're trying to hide something. Clearly. So lesson for anyone out there, any of you aspiring officers out there.
I'm not pulling the door, but could you give me a second? All
All
right,
right, I'll fly to you. I have the big phone here and step it up.
Look at her. His back consistently to the officer, reaching in his car. You don't know what's going on fully, but yet you see nonsense, his non-compliance or his passive resistance, so to speak.
Hey, bro, I'm just trying.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
I'm not.
Drop the gun! Drop!
He has a gun. If you didn't hear him.
Drop it! Drop it!
I was just trying to get away. That's
Signal 0, suspect at gunpoint. Stop! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
I got my hand.
Put your hands behind your back.
You ain't got to go there. I was just trying to get on the ground, bro. I'm good. You good.
So from what I can see, it was a white officer conducted a car stop on a black man who had a gun, takes off running. Dude is still somewhat non-compliant, and he doesn't get shot. Interesting. Let's continue on with the video.
Audience emergency traffic for unit requesting the air. Don't know which unit.
16 hours.
Seriously, bro?
Dude, I'm all right. You good, man. I ain't moving no more.
You almost got shot.
All right. I ain't moving no more. Can I put my hands up?
All right. He almost got shot. He's like, all right. He's all nonchalant about it. Like it's no big deal. Had this officer shot him, it probably would have made headline news, potentially.
I'll fix your cuffs later. Come back to my car. Gun's right there.
Ain't nothing else for that. I just didn't want to get caught, so my friend left a gun in the car. And
You don't need caught, so you pull a gun out?
no, I was running with it. I was going to run with it, bro. Use it on you. You know that.
You know that. Like the officer could read his mind and tell that he wasn't going to shoot him. Idiot. There's no other way of describing it. This is like the dumbest thing you can do. He didn't want to get caught. His friend left the gun in his car, so he didn't want to get caught with a gun on him. So he decides to take off running. He decides to grab the gun and take off running. Just totally dumb. And this is why I constantly harp on compliance, y'all. I know some of y'all probably tired of hearing me say that, but this is why. This could have easily ended with that man's death, and it would have been no one's fault but his own. Absolutely.
No, hey, bro.
Give me a second.
For what?
Give me a second, bro.
Step out. Stop pulling the door. Stop.
Give me a second, though.
Stop pulling the door.
I'm not pulling the door. Just give me a second. All
All right,
right.
they told me to step it up.
That officer is way too easy on that man. You do all that, you get out of the car like that, my gun's already out. Already out. And I'm giving you verbal commands. Because clearly something ain't right.
Hey, bro, I'm just trying. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! I'm not. Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop it!
I was just trying to get away. That's
Signal 0, suspect.
Look at him.
At gunpoint. Stop! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
I meant to do a video on this a while back because I really wanted this to be seen. I wanted people to see the things that aren't reported. This is another thing that I say oftentimes. The police every year make hundreds of millions of contacts with citizens every year. And the select few that happen, that the news media, and particularly the mainstream media, decides to grace us with the knowledge of, they pick and choose certain ones to keep us angry, to keep us fired up. So they'll find the handful of police shootings where the suspect was unarmed or even in possession of a knife. They totally ignore concepts like the 21-foot rule, the fact they may be posing a deadly threat to someone else. They just overlook all that. And they still say the officer should have just let him go or shouldn't have shot him. Totally ignoring the fact that the individual could have been threatening someone with violence, the officer even. There are many times where a white person comes in contact with the police and they end up getting shot under questionable situations, under questionable circumstances. And there are times when a black person comes in contact with the police and nothing happens to him, even in situations where it would have been justified had the officer shot him. So just understand that. What are your thoughts about this video? What do you think you would have done had you been that officer? Would you have shot him? Do you think you would have just tried to wrestle the guy down, give him a break? Comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation.